Hey guys, welcome to another episode, and today we have HP Omen 15 with RTX 2060 mobile, of course, and i5-10300H, I believe. It's quite a decent laptop, and I mean the top cover looks okay. Palm rest is also quite good, in good condition, maybe a few scratches, it's a little bit dirty, missing RTX sticker, but other than that it's quite okay. I think if we give it a little clean, it's gonna look really nice, so no issues here. Overall nice laptop, I would say, and I have already removed the back cover. I also removed the heatsink, so we will have a look at the laptop in a second. We'll do some measurements and see what's wrong with the laptop. Well, I asked the seller about the laptop, and he told me actually that the laptop was in the repair shop and they diagnosed a short on the GPU power rail, and yeah, so we will check it. Also, he told me that they wanted to charge him around $250 for the repair. So I'm thinking, if there's a short on the GPU power rail, I mean, if the GPU was good, then they would just replace the MOSFET and probably charge him some other amount of money, I would imagine, not $250. So I assume they kind of, that was the amount for the GPU replacement, and that would incline that the GPU is actually dead. We'll find out in a second. We'll do the measurements for ourselves. But yeah, I mean, that's what I expected buying the laptop, so I'm prepared to actually look for a donor board, preferably quite cheap if I can find one, and replacing the GPU if needed at some point. But I mean, let's check first and we'll see together. I can tell you right now that I see some discoloration and like burned flags on the coils, or like burned melted flags. So it's actually, if you use a lot of heat, the factory flags actually like shows on the surface of the solder, and then it like solidifies into like candy like hard stains. So yeah, I can see that on the coils right here. So to me it looks like something was done here, although I mean, to me, at least at first glance, we can check under the microscope, but if it was soldered, it's really well soldered, so obviously something was heated in this area. So I suppose, as I said, the GPU may be dead. That's the most likely the case. We'll see. Alright, so I have my multimeter ready in the resistance mode already, and let's grab some ground. Let's check the resistance to ground. We are dealing with the GPU, so we need to know what the ground is to actually compare it against the GPU resistance. Okay, 0.25, let's say, even, but it's going down, so yeah, okay, something around that. Okay, so I mean, first let's check the GPU related area. Normally I wouldn't start with this, but we kind of have a hint what's going on, so let's check. Those two coils probably are for memory, and we have 26 ohms. So that looks very good. So most likely the RAM is fine, and the power rail is fine. Let's check the GPU here. Okay, so as you can see, it's slightly higher than the ground, but not much, like 0.1 of an ohm, I would say. And now we check this here. Oh, good connection. I mean, it is visibly higher, but I mean, I don't know what the resistance should be on RTX 2060 mobile, but I don't think it should be that low, to be honest. So, and that's the case on all the coils here. Obviously those are connected, so and by the way, you can probably see here this coil is marked with a marker, with a line made with marker. So I mean, I'm guessing that's the coil and the corresponding DRMOS or whatever that is, that's actually faulty and shorted. So yeah, probably that's the hint from the repair shop that worked on the laptop before. But I'm just thinking, I mean, okay, there was a short on the GPU power rail, so I assume even if the client didn't agree to the repair, I would assume they would just remove the MOSFET just to test if the short is gone. So, and obviously, as I said, it looks like this area was heated up. So I'm thinking, if they replace the MOSFET, why there is still a short? Maybe because of the CPU that is shorted. They soldered new MOSFET and tried to power on the laptop, and it got shorted again. I'm just guessing, but I mean, I don't have any other explanation. I mean, unless they didn't even bother to remove the MOSFET and just charge him, I mean, wanted to charge him the money and he refused. And so they gave him the laptop back like this. I don't know. I'm really surprised. Okay, let's check other resistances just to make sure everything else is fine. So let's maybe start with the CPU just to know if it's any good. 44 ohms, whatever that is. Maybe something related to the CPU as well. 17 ohms, that looks good. But here we have the CPU coils. 2 ohms. 2 ohms, that looks okay. 2 ohms. So that's probably the CPU. And here we have 5 ohms, so maybe that's integrated GPU or something. So that looks good. So most likely the CPU is fine. Let's check the coils here. We have one coil here. Kilo ohms. Kilo ohms, looking good. Hundreds of kilo ohms, looking good here. 35 ohms, 34 ohms. That may be for the chipset, I'm guessing. So looks okay to me. Not an expert on Intel, but I think it's fine. Hundreds of kilo ohms, that's fine. We haven't checked this one. 20 ohms. That might be memory. Let's check that. Let's remove one stick and check again. And now we have 40 ohms. Okay, so that's memory. Okay, that's fine. Any other coils? There's one last coil here. And we have 1.2 mega ohms, so that's fine. Any other coils? There's a small coil over here. Can you see the multimeter? You can. Tiny little coil here. 313 ohms. I would say looks okay. So I don't see any issues here. The BIOS chips. We have one here, like with this thick frame, so I think that's the main BIOS, and we have kilohms, so that's looking good. But there was another one here, and that might be for the GPU actually, because it's quite close and I don't see anything closer. So let's see this one. Okay, and we have kiloohms as well. So I mean, although the resistance looks really low, but the BIOS chip for the GPU is fine. Maybe we're like super lucky, because honestly, I mean, I don't know, but most likely, you know, if there's still short here, why there is still short? Unless they haven't replaced the MOSFET, then okay, and then we are super lucky if everything works after removing the MOSFET. So I think that's what we are going to do actually. I mean, no, first let's confirm. I mean, I'm just guessing, maybe some line from the factory, I don't know, some quality control or whatever. But yeah, I mean, let's do the voltage injection. Let's see if this is the faulty MOSFET actually, just to make sure. By the way, so I'm not going to inject the voltage just like this, so one probe from the power supply on the ground and one here on the positive side of the capacitor, so let's, or here on the MOSFET, doesn't matter, but let's check. One side is 0.254, so that's most likely ground, and the other one is 0.40 and dropping. So this is the positive side. So normally I would do the voltage injection like this, but then it's difficult to actually see what's getting hot most of the time, especially on the gaming laptops or boards, basically in general. Even that applies to desktop GPUs as well. I mean, you have to use higher voltage sometimes or high current to actually see any glow on the chips. So instead, what I will do, I will, of course, with the power supply leads, I will inject the positive here, inject the voltage here, but I will touch the ground probe behind the coils. So all those coils are connected, so doesn't matter where I touch, whether it's this one or this one, or this one or this one, doesn't matter. So basically we will have the current flowing from the positive to the ground, which will be here, so after the coils but before the GPU itself. So it's actually very safe and efficient way to figure out, because if there is a short in between this and this, we will see it, but the current is flowing to the negative, right? So it will not go to the core, and that's quite safe. You know, in case by any chance the core is good, we will not damage it or expose it to current and voltage. So yeah, let's try that and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so we have our GPU phases here, right here in this area. So, and we have 0.9 volt on the power supply, and the power limit set to 2 amps. That should be enough, especially if we do it this method. So I'm touching the positive side of the capacitor here with the probe, and then I'm touching with this connector, the negative one, behind the coils. And we have nothing. Okay, maybe I don't have a good contact, sorry. 1 second. Okay, and we have the 1.4 amp power draw, and as you can see, something is getting warm. So actually I already see where it is. Let's do this again. And as you can see, it's next to my probe, the positive probe. So it's exactly this DRMOS here, and it's exactly the one next to the coil marked with the line. So yeah, as I said, most likely the repair shop checked which MOSFET is shorted, and they offered to replace, I mean, to fix the laptop for $250 approximately. Okay, so I have the board here. I haven't removed it, I just loosened some screws and removed the battery so that I could slide like a few layers of aluminum foil under the board, just to, you know, not to melt what's under the board. So like there is this plastic isolation, maybe something some elements of the keyboard from the bottom, so I don't want to damage that. So I put the foil like right here, so that should kind of isolate our area, and we should be able, I hope, to remove the MOSFET without preheater, just with the hot air and tweezers. So let's see how it goes. And we have desoldered the MOSFET. Please ignore the sounds of the rain. It's raining as hell right now. I can't do anything about it. I have the roof windows just above me. Alright, so let's check that. And what resistance do we have on the GPU? Yeah, so similar as before, and it's going down slightly. So it's like 0.1 ohm above the ground. That doesn't look good, to be honest. But let's check on the capacitor before the MOSFETs. And we have hundreds of kilo ohms, but still it's looking good. So yeah, the MOSFET was faulty, the rest should be fine. So I think as it is, we are safe to power on the laptop and see what happens. I hope no other MOSFET gets shorted, but let's check if we haven't caused any additional shorts on something else. Okay, so VRAM we still have, is still okay. Here 18 ohms, yeah, it was similar. It's just the board is probably a bit warm still, so the resistance may be slightly lower, very slightly lower. Mega ohm, kilo ohms, just quickly. Here it's fine. Kilo ohms, and kilo ohms. So yeah, it's safe to power on. Actually, let's check the CPU as well. Around 2 ohms as it was before. Here 40 ohms, 15 ohms, 5 ohms, that's fine. BIOS chip leg number 8 is this one, still in kilo ohms, and the one here kilo ohms. Okay, it's safe to power on the laptop. Okay, so the heatsink is on, as you can see. One fan is still missing. I mean, I'll put it back later just to test, and let's see. Connecting the power supply, nothing blowed up so far. Let's open the laptop. We have a light on the charger, not sure if you can see that. Here, probably too much light, but maybe let's remove one light, please. Oh. And let's, where's the power button? It's here. Let's try, let's see what happens. We have a light blinking, fan spinning at full speed, which is not a good sign. Okay, I think it's slowing down. So something is happening. GPU is getting warm, I believe. CPU as well, but GPU more. And we don't have a picture. So probably as expected. Ah! Good lord, we have a picture. Don't mind the weird picture, it is just the reflections and the stains on the screen, but we have a picture, guys. Okay, so now we have to check whether the card is detected and if it's working, because it may be that, you know, in Windows we will not have the GPU properly detected and not working. So don't be so happy, but at least the laptop is working. As you could see, the laptop turned on with a picture, and well, off camera I installed an SSD, fresh Windows, and I downloaded NVIDIA drivers for RTX 2060 mobile. I installed it, and believe me or not, it installed fine without any exclamation mark, without any errors. So I was really surprised. I didn't believe, I mean, I was sure the chip is still faulty and we just run on the integrated graphics. But turns out it's okay. I didn't want to force it too much because we still don't have the DRMOS, and so and the laptop was getting quite warm actually. So I need to assemble it properly, repaste it properly, because I just put a blob of cheap thermal paste just to do some testing and install Windows. But well, right now we should put the DRMOS back on, and I happen to have this motherboard also from HP laptop, and it's a great motherboard because I bought it for cheap, and I think it's like physically broken here, like bent, so it doesn't work. But I believe the GPU is working and the Ryzen here is working, and also we have the powers, the DRMOS that we actually need, the same model, that's MP8694. So I will desolder now one of those and solder it here in our laptop. And I have the laptop at home with me. I have assembled it fully, repasted, cleaned all the dust and everything. So as I said, the laptop is fully assembled. I tested it quite a lot today. So as you can see, we have the readings from the SSD test. I have run 3D Mark successfully, and that's the best, probably the best graphics test to test the graphics cards, I believe. So if that passes, it gives me confidence that it's working fine. Also, I have run haven't benchmarked for a few hours, fully stable, no issues whatsoever. Also, temperatures of the CPU and GPU are all intact, and well, as you could imagine, all the parameters in GPU-Z are also perfectly fine. So we have 6 gigs of Samsung GDDR6 memory. All the technologies here are active. What else? Yeah, the frequencies were also okay. So right now it's in idle, but when I was running the test, obviously this kind of score is as expected. So yeah, everything is perfectly fine. So I must say we were very, very lucky. I mean, chances that I mean, in general, chances of either GPU or a CPU surviving short circuit on the power rail is not big, because you have 19 or 20 volts running into GPU or CPU, which are powered with like 0.9 volt, so around 1 volt, let's say. So yeah, most of the time CPU or GPU is dead. And also, as you could see, the resistance was very, very low, like 0.1 of an ohm. I didn't expect that. I would expect something like around maybe 2 ohms or something. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm happy that it worked. No issues whatsoever. So that's a very successful, very lucky fix. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this repair. And since you made it till the end of the video, I'm pretty sure it's worth smashing that subscribe button.